Google Hangouts anymore. So I have my cell phone pointed at my TV. I hope they can hear it. Um, yeah, that's frustrating. Real frustrating. They terminate my channel last week for no reason. And so I got that back after a pain in the butt. So anyway, I got a ton of stuff that I want to go over. And for Facebook, oh, this is frustrating. Sorry, guys. Here, look at right here. Because you guys can see my screen now, I can show you what's happening. Okay, this is where I was supposed to be streaming right now. And, okay, I don't want to create a stream. I was trying everything. So, this is my problem, my ingestion settings. And I can't figure it out. And I honestly, I don't know. Anyway, let's get to something more interesting. I just don't feel like this is gonna go very well because I have a bunch of stuff to go over, and I don't even know if my other camera can hear what I'm saying because I'm so far away from it. Maybe what I should try to do is move that camera over here. Sorry guys, I'm not gonna start going over this until I figure this out. It was supposed to be, oh man. Yeah. Okay, well if the battery dies, the battery dies. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Sorry guys. Well, you're not even gonna be able to see it anyway. Can I zoom in? Okay, I can zoom in a little bit. Man, that's frustrating. Why did they shut down Google Hangouts? Why did they do that? That's frustrating because there's really no reason. Hey Anthony, I'm glad you found this one. I know you can't see the screen well, but it's the best I can do, and I know other people have to be having this same problem, right? I'm going over to Facebook here for a minute. You can hear me good. Thank you, Kyle and Jessica. I'm going to be talking about New Jerusalem and what I believe to be something that probably a lot of people haven't really thought about. But in order to start with that, actually I'm going to read, we're going to read 2nd Ezra chapter 13. I don't think we'll read the whole chapter, but I want to point out some things that I'm seeing here. So I'm just going to start right here and forget about YouTube and Facebook and all my fun little problems. Sorry guys. I see there's a couple people on YouTube. Okay. I'm just going to read a little bit here. After 7 days, I had a dream during the night. I looked and saw a wind rising from the sea and stirring up all its waves. As I watched, this wind made something like the figure of a man come up out of the heart of the sea. That man was flying among the clouds of heaven. Hold on a minute. I just thought of something. Oh, never mind. He was flying with the clouds of heaven. Wherever he turned his face to look, everything that fell under his gaze trembled. Wherever an utterance came from his mouth, all who heard his voice melted as wax melts when it feels the fire. I kept watching these things, and an innumerable multitude of people came together from the four winds of heaven to fight against the man who had come up from the sea. Before I continue, I want to just be clear on who this man is. It'll tell us in the interpretation, but there's really only one man that is going to be flying with the clouds of heaven. Jesus. So, here, I'll keep going. Sorry. Let's see. I watched as he carved out a great mountain for himself and flew onto it. I tried to see the region or place from which that mountain was carved, but I couldn't. After this, I looked and I saw that all who had gathered to do battle against him were sorely afraid, yet they dared to fight. When he saw the rush of the multitude coming, he didn't raise his hand or hold a spear or any weapon of war. Rather, I saw something like a wave of fire shoot forth from his mouth, and a breath of flame from his lips, a storm of sparks from his tongue, and a storm of sparks from his tongue. All these things, the wave of fire, the breath of flame, the mighty storm mixed together. I read that wrong. All these things, the wave of fire, the breath of the flame, and the mighty storm mixed together and fell upon the crowd that was rushing forward, prepared to fight. It burned them all up so that suddenly nothing was seen of the innumerable mob except dust of ashes and the smell of smoke. I saw this and was amazed. After these things I saw the same man coming down from the mountain and calling to himself another crowd, a peaceful one. Many people came to him. Some were rejoicing and some were sad. Some were even tied up, while some were bringing other people as an offering. I woke up in great fear and pleaded with the Most High. I said, "From the beginning you showed your servant these wonders." This is Ezra. And you considered me worthy that you should receive my prayer. Now show me also the interpretation of this dream. And then he kind of goes on, like he's feeling bad for the people that are going to be alive at that time. And he's kind of comparing them. But then he gets the interpretation. But I just want to go back up here and point out a few more things, because what I'm basically going to talk about is New Jerusalem. And that's in heaven, or it is heaven. And there's another, let's see here. I have all these to cover, all these verses to cover. So basically here, it's a vision that Ezra is shown, and a man comes up and he's flying with the clouds of heaven, and anytime he utters his voice, the people who hear him, they melt as wax, melts when it feels the fire. And then he carved out a great mountain for himself and flew onto it. Okay, I want to go to, okay, Revelation 14. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the firstfruits unto God and to the Lamb. And I could continue on there, but I want to point out the reason why that they are virgins. In Revelation 2, I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but Jezebel seduces the children of Israel to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. And I'll just read 21 and 22. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication. She repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. So this is talking about, I believe this is talking about that, and Babylon too. Babylon is also a woman, or talked about as a woman. Not defiled with, whoops, I always do that. Not defiled with women. But let me just read some of these verses. Where are we here? Whoops. Okay. This is Second Samuel 2, right? Or 22, I'm sorry. Verses 10 through 14. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet, and he rode upon a cherub, and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, dark waters, and thick clouds of the skies. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. The Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. Yeah, let's see here. What is this here? Oh, this is from a meme I made. Never mind. Okay. This is just not going how I wanted it to go here because, yeah, this is just not going how I think I'm just going to have to make a video because YouTube is just not allowing me to do what I planned on doing. So there's just too much here for me to cover, and I'm like flustered because I can't do it properly the way I would like to. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to spend a lot of time and make a video. I'll read this to you though. Actually, you know what? We'll go back. I'll finish talking about 2nd Ezra 13. We'll read the interpretation wherever we were. Yeah. I will tell you the interpretation starting in verse 21. I'm not going to highlight anything though. Whoa! Sorry. It's not my day. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try that again. 21. He answered me, I will tell you the interpretation of the dream as well, and I will explain to you the things you spoke about. As to what you said about those who are left, this is the interpretation. He who brings the danger at the time will himself guard those who fall into danger. Do you guys know what this is talking about? The falling away, the apostasy. People that are, let's say, born into the apostasy. The final generation of people that are alive at the end. They're born into it. That's what I know. I don't think I would have known that until I've experienced what I've experienced, but okay, sorry about that. That was a little side note. Where was I? Okay. He who brings the danger at that time will himself guard those who fall into danger. So I'm just going to give my idea of what I think on that. I think that is saying that there's 144,000 first fruits. We just read that. Where was it? Right here. Verse 4 at the end, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. Okay. Oh, I see Heather has a question. Then how is it new? I believe it was hidden. I believe it was hidden by God, actually. And let me just go to Romans really quick. Oops. Romans 16, the last few verses of the book of Romans is what that reminded me of. verse 25 through 27. Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Jesus Christ, according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began, but now is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting God, made known to all nations for the obedience of faith. Like, it takes a lot of faith to believe that you live on a flat earth when there's pictures of a globe from space and there's all this propaganda that's everywhere in the world. It does take some faith. So it's made known to all nations for the obedience of faith. And let me back that up. I might have moved my mic so I can get at my keyboard a little bit. Let me back that up. Isaiah, whoops. Whoa, I'm bumping the mic. Sorry, guys. Isaiah, where was I going? 40. Or Luke, we could go to Luke 3 also, but, so, let's see here. Let's start in verse 4. Every valley shall be exalted, that means lifted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. So what that's saying there, I believe, it's describing a flat earth, clearly. Every valley lifted up and every mountain made low, that's a flat. That's what it means. And the crooked made straight, and rough places plain. They couldn't be any more descriptive than that. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed. So we're talking about the glory of the Lord being revealed. Well, back to Romans. Let's go to Romans 1. And we're going to hear about what we did. Why does the glory of God need to be revealed? For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. But I actually want to go down here. Look at, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. I believe that's just straight up talking about the globe. We can know God by his creation. And I don't remember exactly where I was going with that, but I'm going to go back to 2nd Esdras. Maybe that'll tell me where I was going. Let's see. Okay, I think that people that cannot, because remember in Revelation 14 how it said that they can't learn the song, the new song. We better go and check the exact wording here. Okay. That's the wrong one. This one. Okay. They sung as it were a new song before the throne. And then it says, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000. So, I mean, I think it should be obvious that there's something in our world right now that's happening that seems to be kind of like that. But there's a lot of people that have, I'm going to call it repented. They've turned away from a corruptible image that we did change the glory, or maybe not us personally, but us as human beings, as a whole world of people, we changed the glory of God, and it's going to be revealed at the time of the end. Let me actually go back to Isaiah again. Let's go to Isaiah 48, because this is a very interesting wording. I don't know exactly what it all means, but let me just read some verses here. We'll start in verse 3. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. This is obviously the creation, the 6-day creation. He spoke it, he declared it from the beginning, and it went forth out of his mouth, and he showed it and did it suddenly, and it came to pass. Because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is an iron sinew, and thy brow brass. I have even from the beginning declared it to thee. Before it came to pass, I showed it thee, lest thou shouldst say, mine idol hath done them, my graven image and my big bang hath commanded them. I added that part. Molten image, it said. But that, I believe that's what that's referring to, is saying that the graven image, the idol, the molten image commanded the former things, but obviously it was God. Thou hast heard, see all this, and will not ye declare it? This is him saying, I made you bear witness to, or actually he says it right after this, but right here, see all this, and will not ye declare it? He's basically trying to give us confidence in this, what he showed us. It says, I have showed thee new things from this time, even hidden things, and thou didst not know them. They are created now, and not from the beginning, even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldst say, behold, I knew them. He's if we're honest with ourselves, this is all perfectly correct. Because whether or not physically, obviously the earth has physically always been flat. That's something that we couldn't see. Okay, Anthony says, Joe, I don't know if I just missed it or not, but did you ever look into, oh, I can't even see comments on it. See, that's one other reason why YouTube screwed me. That's frustrating. Sorry, Anthony, I don't know how to even see it. If I start pressing buttons, oh boy. Yeah, I already got it on live chat. All messages are visible for about 3 seconds. That's frustrating. But yeah. Let's see where. Okay, then it gets into something else. But yeah. So if that was anything to do with that question, I kind of went along there. But so I think there's people that learn the song, and then people that believe the song with faith. And here it says, he who brings the danger at that time will himself guard those who fall into danger, who have works and faith in the most mighty one. The most mighty one. Know therefore that those who are left enjoy greater privilege than those who have died. The interpretations of the vision are as follows. I don't really know what the verse 24 means there, but in that you saw a man going up from the heart of the sea, that is the one who the Most High has been keeping for many ages. He will liberate God's creation all by himself, and he will put in order those who are left. It's speaking of the Word of God. In that you saw something like wind and fire and storm go out of, or did I skip something? Or no, I didn't. Okay. Go out of his mouth, and that he didn't hold a spear or weapon of war, yet destroyed the rush of that multitude that that had come to fight him. Here's the interpretation. Look, this is my favorite part right here. Look, the days are coming when the Most High will begin to rescue those who are on the earth. Those who live on earth will go out of their minds. They will plan to wage war against each other, city against city, place against place, nation against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. When these things happen, and the signs that I showed you before take place, then my Son will be revealed, whom you saw as a man rising up. When all the nations hear his voice, then each one will leave its own region and will leave off the wars they were waging against each other, and an innumerable mob will be gathered together, as you saw, wanting to come and fight against him. Now check this out. But he will take his stand on the summit of Mount Zion. Zion, now you guys, this is why, this is one of the main reasons why I want to say that flat earth, I believe that I don't know all the details, but I'm saying I believe that it is New Jerusalem, and that's the flat earth. It's a new land, and right now it can be physical and people just can't see it because they live on a globe. That's what I'm seeing. But there's also descriptions of New Jerusalem that I believe our eyes can't see yet, and I can explain that by going. We'll read this. It'll take a second, but this is 2nd Esdras chapter 10. Ezra. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll just read this right now, and then we'll go back and continue on that. I just want to read at least part of this. While I was talking to her, okay, so he saw this woman, and long story, she waited and prayed forever to have a son, and finally did, and then he died at his wedding day. And so she went out to this field to grieve, and she was gonna stay there and fast or whatever till she died or something. And so this is Ezra, and Ezra's out in the middle of a field basically waiting to have he was directed to go out there for 7 days and not only to eat the flowers of the field or whatever. While I was talking to her, her face suddenly began to shine exceedingly. Her countenance flashed like lightning, so that I was too frightened to approach her, and my heart was terrified. While I was wondering what this meant, she suddenly uttered a loud and fearful cry, so that the earth shook at the sound. When I looked up, the woman was no longer visible to me, but a city was being built, and a place of huge foundations showed itself. I was afraid and cried with a loud voice and said, "Where's the angel Uriel?" Okay, now check this out. That just reminded me of Hebrews 11 and Abraham. Check this out. So this is what I'm saying, is this city is already, it's being built or is built or prepared and built, which we'll look at in Revelation. But in, let's see. Oh yeah, we'll just read 8 through 10. By faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Not knowing whither he went? By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country. Sojourn means like a visit, basically, like a short stay. Dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. Now check this out. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is God. So that's that city. We'll go back to chapter 13 in 2nd Esdras now. Where were we on there? Okay. Oh yeah. He will take his stand on the summit of Mount Zion. Now this is amazing right here. Verse 36. This to me is why I really think that this has something to do with flat earth. Zion will come and appear to all, built and ready, as you saw a mountain carved without hands. My son himself will indict the assembled nations for their impious deeds. These things were indicated by the storm. So the sparks and the storm coming out of his mouth and everything, that was, these things were indicated by the storm. He will scold them for their rival plans and reveal the torments with which they are about to be tortured. Remember it said they were filled with fear, but they dared to fight anyway? These things correspond to the flame. He will destroy them without effort by the law, which was indicated by the fire. As to the fact you saw him collecting to himself another peaceable multitude, or peaceful multitude, these are the 10 tribes that were taken captive from their land in the days of King Hoshea. Okay, now I think that that is the same as tribes, but after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And then he saw 12 tribes of 12,000 being sealed. Now, let's see. I gotta see if I can find. I was just thinking of something and I just lost it. Let's see. Okay, let's go back to where? Right here, I think. Okay. I'm just trying to find. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Okay, this is the interpretation. The woman whom you saw is Zion, which you now behold as a city being built. And as for her telling you that she was barren for 30 years, the reason is that, okay, so that gets all kind of complicated, but basically he sees there's a city built, but it's not there yet. And I think, let me just go down here. Oh yeah, I told you to remain in the field where no houses had been built, for I knew that the Most High would reveal these things to you. Therefore I told you to go into a field where there was no foundation of any building, because no work of human construction could endure in a place where the city of the Most High was to be revealed. So this city is, I'm not saying that like flat earth, just the topic. I'm not saying that that is New Jerusalem. I'm saying that the song, I'm calling it the new song, and I have been for a long time, but the song is one that the whole world can learn, but or can't learn, but they can believe it. Like they can have faith. Where was that? Where was I? I don't even remember. Let's go through some of these verses, I guess. Let's see. Okay, Isaiah 2, verses 2 and 3. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all the nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. You hear that? Out of Zion shall go forth the law, not out of Torah. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there is a real, there's real commandments that are current they come by understanding. And if you bear witness, if God makes you a witness to something, what did Jesus say? He said, "What I tell you in the dark, go shout, or go shout it on the rooftops," or something like that. Or what I tell you, I don't remember exactly what it is, but what we understand, we have to say it. So, out of Zion shall go forth the law. Well, what does it say? Where was it? Right here. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000. Now, this 144,000, these are the ones that are going to, let's see. I don't remember exactly where that is, but they are going to rule with the rod of iron, rule all nations with the rod of iron. That's kind of another subject a little bit, but going through a couple more verses here. Isaiah 24, verses 22 and 23. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion, and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously. A little bit of Joel 2. We all know this one. Verses 31 and 32. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, I think that's talking about New Jerusalem, shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant who the Lord shall call. So, do you see two groups of people here? I do. The remnant whom the Lord shall call, it's like they don't have to believe because he showed them. So I'm not saying they don't believe. They didn't believe. They didn't believe, and then he showed them, and then they believed. And I think if we go to Ezekiel 36, we can find that. I think it's Ezekiel 36. Let me just read a couple verses here. Where do we? I think it's towards the end. Wow, that's a long chapter. Okay. I can't remember where it is. Isaiah talks about it too, where it says he's going to make them. Okay, here, I think it's right up here. Yeah, verse 24. We're going to go further than that. We'll go start in 22. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord God, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, saith the Lord God, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. Do you understand this? For I will take you from among the heathen, and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. I think that's flat earth. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you. Is this the right version? Yeah, it is. I was like, one of my searches, it stuck, and it was Common English Bible, and I was like, I didn't like that one very much. Or I'm used to this one. Okay, and where is this? Okay, a new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and will give you an heart of flesh. I don't really know how that's kind of worded weird, but and I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. Does that sound like it's optional? Not to me. And in my life, it wasn't optional. I'm saying that not forced in a bad way, but the Lord did this, not us. And so that's what bothers me about the Torah thinking. because it's almost like they think that they have the will to do something that they don't have. I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. It kind of makes me feel bad for God that he has to do that. But that's what the wages of sin is death. So he has to do miracles. He has to do things in order for us to, we got to give him glory for everything, you guys. I mean, I just see, like, I don't understand the atheists anymore. I just don't get it. There's this channel, I don't know how I ended up there, but it's called Talk Heathen. And it's basically, they just sit and talk about atheist topics. And I went in their chat a few times, and I'll tell you what, they really respond to the things that I say in there. And I don't go in and like say anything mean. I just go in there and I like bring up topics. And some people, you know, some people are mean or whatever. I don't care. But it's interesting to me to see how someone builds their like faith on no God. There's no such thing as God. Yet, if you have a conversation with any one of them, they're going to tell you, well, that it had to be created, didn't it? Like, if you really get down to it. But, let's see here. Verse 29. I will also save you from all your uncleanness, and I will call for the corn, and will increase it, and will lay no famine upon you. Let's see here. Okay, let's just go to, did we get this one yet? I don't think we got this one. Joel 3, verses 16 through 18. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem. Remember in 2nd Esdras? We got to go back there because I want to tie this stuff all together because first of all, I want to, this 2nd Esdras, this book of 2nd Esdras is just amazing. But here's what it says, wherever an utterance came from his mouth, all who heard his voice melted as wax melts when it feels the fire. And, oh no, did I lose it? Okay. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion. Oh man, that just totally reminded me of something now. You guys, we're going deep. I was going to end this stream, but now I'm not. Okay, the Lord, oh man, this is crazy. Whoops. Yeah, 11. Okay, I got to go back to that and get the wording again. The Lord also shall roar, remember that word, roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. Okay, check this out. Okay, first of all, vision of the eagle and the lion, but down towards the end, I think, is it, or is it the next chapter? Oh no, it's right here. Okay. Verse 36, I heard a voice saying to me, look in front of you and consider what you see. I looked and saw something like a lion being roused, roaring out of the forest. I heard how he spoke in a human voice and said to the eagle, listen you, and I will speak to you. The Most High says to you, aren't you the last of the 4 beasts that I made to rule in my world so that I might bring about the end of my times through them? That's just powerful stuff to me. That's talking about the 4th kingdom that Daniel's seen too. Anyway, let's go back here. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. Okay, why would the children of Israel need strength? Why? Well, because they're doing something in the world. So shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. I don't think I need to read that, but let's see. What do we got? Obadiah 1:16 through 18. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. They shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. Zechariah 8:2 through 4. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth. Truth, guys. Spirit of truth came and showed us flat earth. And the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. Okay. Revelation 21. And I saw, this is something I want to point out. This word right here. Let me go to John 3. What happens when you're born again? What are you able to see that you couldn't see before? Where is it? Okay, verse 3. Yeah. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except the... You know, let's go to... Oops, wrong one. Well, I guess I'll just type it in. Revelation 3. Check this out. I think it's verse 18. Where is it? Yeah, it is. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and nakedness do not appear. And anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. That's just powerful. And check this out. Like, you don't have to go to a church, or you don't have to do these things to know Jesus, to know him, and to have him with you all the time. Verse 19, as many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous therefore and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. And that's real, guys. That's real. It's not something that you imagine, like the globe is. I'm gonna check out Facebook really quick. I don't know if anybody's in there. Oh, there's a couple people checked it out. Thank you all for checking it out. Even though it didn't really go the way I wanted it to, but that's okay. Yeah, Second Esdras is a great book. It's interesting. It ties a lot of things together. Oh yeah, I've showed thee new things from this time, even hidden things. One of the most hidden things is right in front of our face in the book Jude. Something that people, even teachers of the scriptures, or ministries can't seem to comprehend these simple words, and it's not. I just want to point them out again. There's a okay. Verse 13, raging waves of the sea foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. We should all know what that's talking about, because it says wandering stars. And we all know that the wandering stars are in the blackness of darkness, right? Space. But check this out. Verse 6 says, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, unto the judgment of the great day. Darkness. I got to go over this too. Ephesians 6. This is another verse that ministries don't listen to the words that are in the verse. I'm not saying every ministry, but pretty much every ministry, church, whatever. They're not listening to the actual words here. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So that right there says a lot. That for all the ministries talking about the Jesuits hiding something, or the Vatican hiding, deceiving the world or whatever. No, it's not. It's not against flesh and blood. But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. And then this here, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That actually, in the Greek, that says against cosmic powers of evil in the heavenly realm. So we're talking about in the spirit, in the heavens, in the sky up above us. The rulers of the darkness. Where's the darkness? Well, let's go back to, where was that one? Maybe it was here. This was 2 Samuel 22. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. That's actually Psalm 18, verse 19 maybe? Or 18, verse 9. It's the exact same thing. He rode upon a cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. The wings of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. I got to look up something. First page. Genesis. I should have typed in KJV. Oops. Okay. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. So light and darkness are two different things, but they're both very real. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So, or then he talks about then he made the firmament. But my tabs are getting too small to see anymore. So, this darkness, let's go to, because I got to prove this. I mean, people, I just had someone that I've kind of been texting back and forth with that just can't seem to see this. And he says, I don't agree with you. And I say, you're not disagreeing with me. I'm not saying these things. These are written already. These are not my ideas. It might be the first time that we in our lifetime have thought about some of these things, but that doesn't mean that that I'm saying them. I'm just reading them, to be honest. So this is talking about the angels that sinned. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, it's very important that people realize that, okay, I know that darkness could be something like, oh, yeah, you know, like goth or something. They like darkness or whatever, or evil or something like that, you know. And it can be that. That's fine, but I need to point out that it's a literal thing too. If you go into a closet and there's no windows and you close the door, it becomes dark in there. And if you take a light and you hold it in that room, then it chases the darkness away. And the moment that the light is not there, the darkness. My stream ended, or no, it didn't end, but I had to redo it. Oh boy. Thanks, YouTube. You're my pal. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Only begotten Son. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth, sometimes truth is ugly, he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest that they were wrought in God. I think that applies to a fringe topic today. Because it is a light in the darkness. It makes the darkness go away. And all, like, that's I think that's important. Yeah, I'm not gonna even try to, I'm just getting rid of a bunch of these. Oh, that was Ezekiel. Never mind. Let's see here. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death. What a lucky guy. Okay, I think that was best I can do right now. So thank you guys for checking it out. Sorry it was so boring on YouTube, and probably on Facebook too, I don't know. Alright, I think I'll make a video, but I'm gonna head out, YouTube. Thank you. Oh, hey Adrian. Yeah, thank you. You guys have a good one.